Hello, viewer. You decided to return to my modest, compact little world. I'm glad. You seem to be a good person. If you are wondering what I am currently doing, there has been a squirrel infestation in the Davenport residence. Because of the strong North Bay winter winds, a family of Amish squirrels has taken refuge here. Behind my back, the owner, under different circumstances, Davenport, such as myself, would simply turn the other cheek and offer clemency to these filthy squirrels. However, recently, the family has been chewing at the toes of the Davenport residents' cats. The cats have been running into my personal chamber with their digits, bleeding, screaming. So, as you can see, my hand has been forced, and I have had to place an archaeological squirrel trap. My father, good old Uncle Da, would warn me about the North Bay squirrels, and about the Amish and their wild ways. He would say, never trust the eager man. It is good to have you here once again, viewer. Much has happened since we last gazed into each other's eyes. I thought I could share with you some of my recent dealings and doings. Here in North Bay, we have entered into what some residents call the unwelcoming season. Because of the cold, families create nests within their dwellings, and only leave their dwelling when they need to get some supplies, or be in search of a fresh mate. As an archaeologist, times like these can be troublesome to the mind, as it can add a layer of exertion when preparing archaeological outings. You may remember me mentioning the Davenport residents' pets, Feline and Honey Whistle. Both men have been in good health, eating regularly and defecating on time. As well, upon being stroked, their eyes roll back behind their lids with ease and dexterity. This shows they are pleased and ready to please the hearts of Carmichael and I, forever, until their deaths. Amen. Let me tell you more. The other day, after completing the day's archaeology work, I decided to recline in the lounge and take a trip down memory lane. I thought about the time when I was a baby and how the nurse who weaned me was most kind. Her name was Ween. I reflected on how as a child the world felt somehow thicker, more dense, more detailed. Where are you now, Ween? Do you still have dreams? Also, earlier this week I was having a bit of trouble with a frequent inhabitant of the Davenport residence. I may not have mentioned her before, but Carmichael and I refer to her as the Nightmare Child. Whether she is of this realm or simply a frail, homeless Polish girl, I know not. I leave it to science. To some, she can be unnerving. However, the two of us have reached an understanding, and I would almost go as far as to refer to her as a patron of mine. She can be objectionable at times. However, I believe she is just misunderstood more than anything. Regardless, she was causing some issues with Carmichael a few nights in a row, so eventually I had to read them both the tale of Mother Maid to calm feud. It worked excellently. As for how my archaeology work has been coming along, it has been progressing at an excellent rate of increasement. In fact, there has been a recent event of which you should be made of awareness. As you know, one of my most beloved hobbies is the endless hunt of the Popwhiskin Banshee. And well, recently Carmichael and I were out on an archaeological outing in the area of Mud Lake Wood in St. John's Village. We were collecting a specific type of rare fern as part of my archaeological study known as the North Bay Fern, when to my utmost surprise I spotted them. Droplings. Popweskin Banshee droplings. Fresh, moist, and succulent. I was quite pleased. Carmichael, however, insisted that the droplings belonged to a bird known as the meadow loon. We argued about this for quite some time in the woods of Mud Lake Wood. Carmichael, he's a good man though, and an excellent assistant. Because it is currently the winter solstice, the migrations of the North Bay Popweskin Banshee have been difficult to archaeologically calculate. However, because a Popweskin Banshee always returns to his droplings for the sake of nostalgia, I must know whether to return to the scene of these droplings to await this beast. This could be the critical moment, friend. Luckily, I received a postage note that various texts I ordered to the North Bay Library have arrived. These texts detail the movements and behaviors of the Popweskin Banshee during the harsh winter solstice, and so before committing my time to watching over the droplings, I must venture out of St. John's Village to the North Bay Library to obtain these texts. If I am right, and Mud Lake Wood is a candidate for Popweskin Banshee's habitats, then Carmichael will be proven wrong, and tonight could be the night to capture the Banshee. This bag was given to me 7 months ago by Carmichael's brothers Carm and Michael. They claim to have snatched it from the hands of an altar boy. I have decided to name it Lil Baby. Usually, when setting out to stroll to the North Bay Library, I am earnest and willing to travel my body through St. John's Village and into the rest of North Bay society. However, since it is the unwelcoming season, I can feel my blood screaming within my capillaries. Speaking of which, as a young lad, I had many collections, as most children do. I had vials of blood containing the DNA of my closest schoolmates. When I was in class, when they wouldn't be looking, I would stab a syringe into their elbow. I was a bashful boy. Little did I know, I was taking my first steps to becoming an archaeologist. Although the cold North Bay winds do cause me to wince and crinkle my excellent body, I don't mind, for the mind believes what the mind believes. I have arrived at the North Bay Public Library, a place of peace and advancement of the North Bay mind. You may recall me speaking of a North Bay Archaeology Club, a pristine, exclusive club which I have been attempting to join for some time. Unfortunately, the only way to gain membership to this club is if the applying human has caught this Popweskin Banshee. Oftentimes, they like to have their meetings here at the North Bay Library, and although I would like to gain access to this club, I am not fond of their president, Clarence Blown. This man, he is a deceptor and a charlatan. If I am able to spot the club here, today, and be able to present myself to the members as the right, true, commensurate leader, this would be excellent. I have just been directed to the location of my newly arrived texts. They smell of promise and sapling nectar. Before leaving, I just would like a few more moments to exist in this place. Libraries. They remind me of nursing homes and small forgotten corners of family homes. The smell of the silence. I walk through these aisles and I often imagine myself as a small chocolate-colored fetus mutant, only the size of a pea, who could just curl up in between the bookcases and just forget the world.
Including those of Harquisha and Harkaf, who were the governors of the Elephantine Islands. During the Old Kingdom. Hello, Davenport. I see from the looks of it, you still haven't caught the Papuaskin Banshee. Now get out.
Fellow archaeologists, I have important news you must know.
Don't listen to this.
This man is a charlatan.
What?
He is not a true archaeologist. I am the rightful president of the Archaeology Club. Spread the word. His reign must end. Davenport is coming. This is the North Bay downtown waterfront. During the winter solstice, it becomes a blank white canvas and reflects the heart of a nurturing woman. Being a Davenport, I am confident that my words will sway the hearts of the club members and they will eventually turn on Clarence and prosecute his mind. However, I must turn my mind to other matters, such as the Banshee. I often come here to give myself perspective in regards to the universe, and to remind myself of the beauty of science, and that it is beautiful. After studying these texts, it appears my instincts were correct, and Carmichael has been proven wrong. The droplings in Mud Lake Wood could indeed be the droplings of the North Bay Papuaskin Banshee. And so, it is time that I finally catch this North Bay legend. It appears today I have not found the Banshee, but after today's bout, it appears that Carmichael and I are quite close to getting on the right track, to getting there, to getting close. I hope you enjoyed this day of hot passions and feverishly good times, and I do hope you return to the Davenport residence, friend. Do you know why? Because every time you return, my toes tingle, and my entire body occasionally vibrates. And remember, the mind believes what the mind believes.